you have to enter into what is called a 1031 exchange agreement. It is an agreement where in writing through a qualified intermediary. What's a qualified intermediary? It's not even a title company. It's not a lawyer. It's not me. It is a agency, a third party that has nothing to do with the transaction, because what the IRS calls constructive realization of your proceeds. What is that? It might have never hit your bank account, but even if it went into my account or into your lawyer's account, that is a constructive realization of these proceeds. Okay.
Proceeds exist. If you
Right.
have it or not, is not.
Yeah. So what's in this 1031 exchange contract or agreement where you're putting in writing? Because if you're ever audited by the IRS, you need this official thing. It couldn't just been an email. It's an actual contract with a qualified intermediary. They usually charge around $900, let's just say $1,000, and it's a one-time payment. You put it in your closing statement out of your. So I think it's pretty reasonable, especially
And
with
they
all
do
the work that they're
closing
doing.
also? They do the closing
No,
also?
the title company does. So that's why I work
The
so
agent
well.
only is there to get the
To
to
hold the
hold the
money.
money.
To hold the money.
Correct.
That's it.
That's it. And obviously to prepare and the paperwork for the timeline.
tax.
Because it's their job to hold the funds and also make sure that we're complying with the 1031 IRS code. A qualified intermediary for me is the expert on IRS code 1031.
Yes.
And that is what their function is. And that is why me as a title company, remember, I have money coming in and out of my trust account that has to do with this transaction. So I cannot be the qualified intermediary. So those proceeds have to go directly to the QI, what we call the qualified intermediary. That is why they have to be involved before the closing. And when I say before, it could be the morning of that
Okay.
you decide, oh my gosh, I totally didn't know about 1031. I didn't realize I couldn't put my proceeds with you, the title company. That morning, you prepare the title work with, the 1031 agreement with a qualified intermediary, and you're safe. You're good. But the funds are going to go directly to them. So in this 1031 agreement, you're going to have the property you're relinquishing. Let's just say in this scenario, it's this international property. It's not domestic. Then you have to list the potential properties that you're looking at, right? Because that's what it's called. There's RP, which is the relinquished property, and then you have the reinvestment property, the identified properties.
But you have certain days, if I'm not mistaken, right? To make
45
decide.
days from the date that you closed on the sale, the
Okay.
day of closing. So that day, let's just say it's today, we would have 45 days to, in writing, write a list. And the IRS has a limit on the number, because then that's not fair, right? We could just say a book of, look at all these properties I'm looking at, and
Yes.
you really didn't identify a property. So you have to have a substantial list where you show that, how did you identify them? Well, you identify them per location, the
Do you
estimated
have
capital.
to have under contract or LOI for them or something like that?
No.
You
Just
need to point
identify.
out.
These are the
Okay.
ones I'm looking at, and you're telling a story with when you're preparing your taxes, you're telling a story. So thankfully there's no strict identification rules on that. But the strict rules are 45 days to identify the property. So the 45 days is from the day that we close. We have to show a list or produce a list in writing. Not even to the IRS yet. You're just doing it to your QI, to your qualified intermediary.
So you don't have to have the property yet. You just have to identify within the
Yes.
property that you're looking for.
Correct.
Not select the property yet.
Exactly.
And how many options did you say? Or not
There
yet?
is that the IRS is very specific on,
Yes.
okay, and we could look that up now. I don't know if you want to take a look, but you Google it or something on our phones right now, because there is a specific amount. Like I said, they don't want investors taking advantage and just choosing a random, printing out the MLS and just being like, oh, here are my potential
Yes.
properties. No, there's an intentional decision that these are potential reinvestment properties. So that's the 45-day timeline, and then really the whole timeline is 180. So from the day that you close on the sale of your investment property, which is called the relinquished property, then within those 180 days, you have to close, not identify, but close on the purchase, whether it's one or two properties, whatever you're going to do for real property, it's 180 days.